And to deliver this session, we have Ms. Preity Upala, model, actor, and speaker. A B.Tech and an honors graduate in e-marketing, Preity Upala, Hollywood actress and producer, is a former investment banker turned multimedia entrepreneur. She is an international public speaker and an astute political commentator who has participated in panels and speaker on various international platforms. She is a certified Dharma ambassador speaking about spirituality and Vedic philosophy. Please welcome on stage Preity Upala.
Namaste everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I am truly honored and privileged to be standing here in front of you and given this amazing opportunity to talk about a topic which I think is so apt and relevant today, I think more than ever before. So my topic is the US and India relationship today and the path forward. Sunday, the 22nd of September, was a historic day for the USA when a sitting US president was a guest of honor in the largest gathering in America for a foreign head of state. Indian Prime Minister Honorable Narendra Modi spoke to the largest gathering in the US of over 50,000 people in Houston, Texas. In what is being described as an unprecedented gesture of solidarity, US President Trump was present in Houston to share the stage with Prime Minister Modi during his mega rally. The official statement from the White House was, "This event will be a great opportunity to emphasize the strong ties between the people of the US and the people of India. It will also reaffirm strategic partnership between the world's oldest democracy and the world's largest democracy." Although they make up only 1% of the US population, the Indian American community is close to 4 million. And they are the most educated and richest ethnic group in the US, even including white Caucasian Americans. So we can hold our heads up high for that. They're increasingly an important vote bank as well. They are known to be generous with donations to political candidates and so on. So of course Trump was playing his trump card to sway some of the Indian voters his way. The US-India relationship has evolved over the past few decades, and perhaps today it seems to be the most closest, at least visibly. President Trump thanked the US community, the Indian American community for their contribution to the US and applauded Prime Minister Modi for bringing 300 million people out of poverty just in the last 5 years. He reiterated that India will have a true friend in the White House within his administration. He also noted the launch of the NBA in India. He jokingly said if he was invited, he may just show up. And Modi in turn joked that Trump calls him a master negotiator, but of course he's learned a lot from Trump himself, who at the end of the day did write The Art of the Deal. Prime Minister Modi spoke about the development in India and the emergence of a digital India. He quoted that data is the new oil and articulated how data can be consumed for the lowest price in the world in India and how it aspires to be the tech capital of the planet. On paper, these two should be strong allies and should have great business relations. Both are secular liberal democracies, enjoy free market capitalism, have shared values, shared threats, and identical moral compasses. However, this is hardly the reality. So what have been some of the issues that have come in the way of better relationship between these two great powers. Over the last few decades, this dynamic has certainly evolved, leaving behind the famous description of the economic cooperation between these two powers being as flat as a chapati. So, just in numbers, trade has quadrupled to 100 billion in the last 7 years, and US investments in India have crossed 50 billion. India has cleared 286 projects worth 97 billion last year. Indian companies have invested 17 billion in the US, 350 million of which are in research and development alone, and the recent aircraft defense contract have created 40,000 jobs in the US. But still, there is a long way to go. A fair dialogue should take place considering India's priorities and concerns. Demonizing the climate of doing business in India by US companies could end up being counterproductive. The Minister of External Affairs in India, Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar, on his recent visit to the US, stated that today he sees far fewer issues than India's own protectionism that have been obstacles in doing business together. One area is the energy sector. India is the third largest consumer of energy in the world and imports most of its needs from the Gulf. So the recent deal of an Indian company's offtake of shale gas obviously has huge positive ramifications for the Indian economy. He stated, if we look at growth areas of this relationship, the ability and willingness to work together is there. I do see and hear an America which very much wants more of a partnership-based management of world security. An example of this is the fact that today the US Navy exercises more with the Indian Navy than anyone else in the world. He stressed that the limitations put on H-1B visas actually hurts the US more than it does India, particularly considering the serious skill shortage that exists in the tech sector in the US, and of course over 50% of Silicon Valley happens to be of Indian origin. Hopefully an immigration reform is coming in the near future which is much more fairer. It would also shape the Indian perception of how open really is the US economy. He goes on to say, once we have a political and military comfort level, we can go into any situation. As Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Dr. Jaishankar shared their sentiments. They said, great friends are bound to have differences. Both see market access and a removal of trade barriers as a step to improving trade relations. Mr. Pompeo stressed that the US is committed to ensure that India has the military capability to uphold its territorial integrity, and this would include intelligence and information sharing to fight terrorism. He admitted that China's BRI, the famous Belt and Road Initiative, to nations in the subcontinent, comes with not just strings attached, but actually shackles. Regarding the recent purchase of the S-400 missile system from Russia by India, this has of course been an issue of a lot of contention. He reassured that the US understands and stands by India's safety needs, and that both countries will have to plot a path forward together to do the right thing for both countries. He ended by saying that together we should act quickly to fulfill the ambitious visions of prosperity provided by President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, not just for our two countries, but for the region at large and even the world. Finally, the Indian-American diaspora plays a huge role in the US-India relationship. No major foreign policy has worked where the Indian American community has not played an important role. The average American's impression of India is very much shaped by their interaction with the Indian American community, and today I'm happy and proud to say that that impression is an extremely positive one. So now that a lot of the prior obstacles for doing business have been cleared, it's time to get back to doing business. Thank you so much for your time. I'm honored to be here and share my thoughts with you, and I just look forward to connecting with you so much more. Thank you so much for promising India very much.
What's your view on the US President Trump's impeachment?
It's not feasible because it's not going to pass through the House and the Senate, so it's a failed exercise. They should really save their energy to tackle actual problems.
You feel like that? Sure. Good.
Any other questions for her? Right. Right? Any other questions?
Well, there are many more we can have offline.
Offline, okay, great. No problem. May I please call upon Ms. Lehra Sethi to come up and felicitate Preity? I know you're lacking some energy, but if you can just draw the last resources of energy and put your hands together. Thank you.